acceptance of the live stream. All right, sir, if you are ready, I am ready.
Ready to go.
Let's have some fun here. Hey, we are here at the 2017 California, Nevada Credit Union League REACH conference here in Palm Desert.
How about that?
Mr. Jim Nussel, how are you, sir?
You know, it's fun to be in the desert. Growing up in Iowa, that's about as far from the desert as you can get. It's kind of fun to be in the, it has a beauty all of its own.
It does.
It really is cool.
So. The sunsets and sunrises are amazing.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Here, so it's pretty cool stuff here. And I just got through talking to Ben Morales, who lives in Seattle, and it's snowing up there.
That's what I heard, yeah, and it's snowing in Iowa today.
Oh, is it?
So,
oh my gosh, what's going on?
I know.
Nutty stuff. Hey, we are here talking about breaking news almost. Recent tax bill impact on the credit unions. What's going on there? What's your take on all that?
Well, so there's good news and there's developing news.
Okay.
The good news is that the first tax bill, so let me start over. The president obviously lays out an outline, but that's all it is. The bill language is then written by the House of Representatives and the Senate tax writing committees, the Ways and Means and Finance Committee. The Ways and Means Committee in the House has released their version. That's the one everyone's been talking about. In that bill, credit union taxation status has not been touched. So our long-standing tax-exempt status continues. The way we do things, it remains, and that's a positive. But as I can tell you, because I served on that committee, I've actually written tax bills and also did a conference. I chaired a conference between the House and Senate on a tax writing bill. Anytime the tax bill is open, you're on the menu. Oh, yeah. I mean, just watch out. So while the House has moved first and we're in a good position, I'm always watching that next step. And so we are on top of this completely. We just put out a CUNA white paper today about all of the different provisions in the tax bill, how they apply to credit unions. There are many of them. Some of them are good. There's some fish hooks in there that people need to be aware of. And so look for that white paper on the CUNA website, cuna.coop.org, and you will be able to kind of download that and get that information if people are listening.
Yeah, is there one thing one thing off the top of your head that we should be aware of?
I mean, nothing huge. I mean, there's a bunch of little things, and I mean, overall, a growing economy is good for credit unions. I mean, because we're now the community lenders across the country, and so I think that's a positive. And so, generally speaking, we're hoping that tax reform, tax simplification, a growing economy comes out of this. But the process is such a, meat grinder. You just never know what twists and turns are going to happen. So, what starts today, it's kind of hard to know where it's going to end up. So I'm kind of reserving judgment right now until we get to that a little closer to the end.
Okay, very cool. Also, big news here, nullifying the CFPB arbitration rule. What's the impact here for credit unions?
Yeah, that was huge. This is an example where the CFPB, we believe, overreached. They overreached particularly with regard to credit unions. I mean, we have all sorts of recourse, and so we asked for the Senate to use its authority under the Congressional Review Act to basically take that rule away, and the Senate agreed to do that. And the good news here in particular, if you watch the debate, we had over 500 people in Washington, D.C. from credit unions across the country during September. And if you notice, the last two votes in that Senate vote were Senators Collins and Murkowski, Alaska and Maine, and they credited credit unions with the reason they voted for that Congressional Review Act, which took that rule out.
Right on.
It's really good advocacy, but it's the people like are here at the REACH conference. They're really getting it done when it comes to credit union advocacy across the country.
Indeed. Hard at work and keeping that momentum going.
Very
Definitely,
much so.
for sure. Hey, let's give you a quick, the GAC is going to be here before you know it.
Yeah.
So you want to give us a quick 2018 GAC
February 26, 27, and 28 in Washington, D.C. Again, you're all invited. We'd love to have you come out and participate in our, credit union advocacy, which is on offense right now. We've been on offense on regulatory relief. We're on offense in the courts. We're on offense in Congress. We're on offense at the NCUA and the CFPB, and we need people to help sustain that. Our common sense regulatory reform platform that we've been using all year is one that they adopted practically in total when it came to the Choice Act in the House of Representatives. We now want to get that through the United States Senate. We want to protect our tax status. We want to make sure we are as noisy as heck when it comes to the cybersecurity and protecting our member data. And we're going to do it through the courts, we'll do it through the agencies, or we'll do it on Capitol Hill. And then ensuring that if there are any opportunities for us to expand powers for credit unions to allow us, such as what we've done in field of membership and in member business lending, those are ways that we can just continue to help serve communities across the country and expand our now 112 million members to an even greater number.
Man, I mean, it seems like yesterday we just crossed the 100 million threshold, and now we're over 112 already? My goodness.
Growing's winning, and we're winning.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like us to get to an even greater tipping point, and that's why we're doing what we are on offense and advocacy, and we're backfilling that as well with an awareness effort, with CU Ledger, which is the blockchain technology. Those are ways that we can help continue to keep that momentum, to help give that tipping point a push in favor of credit unions.
Keeping us relevant, for sure.
Exactly.
Okay, last question here for you. 2017, kind of a wrap up on our year, and then going into 2018, what do you see?
You know, I kind of gave it just a second ago when it comes to, again, cybersecurity, protect the tax status, and the regulatory relief. I don't think that's probably going to change much in 2018. My guess is that the tax bill is not done by the end of the year, as much as that's what the president would like. I don't think it's going to get done by the end of the year. I don't think we're going to get the regulatory relief bill through the Senate by the end of the year. That's going to linger till next year.
Okay.
We're probably going to see some big changes at the NCUA. I mean, they're already about 4 months late when it comes to appointing 2 new members. And the CFPB is still a wild card. What happens to Director Cordray is still a big question mark. So I think 2018 is going to be very important for people's direct involvement in advocacy through your league and through CUNA, and we invite you to be part of it at the CUNA GAC in February.
Indeed, yeah, and that's consistency, I think, is key right here, because I'm talking to Ryan Donovan all the time. He's like, you got to be consistent about this stuff, not just one time a year, so you got to be
all year long. Yeah, no question about it.
All right, very cool, Jim. Thank you very much for stopping by.
Appreciate it. Part of it. Yeah,
I know you have a busy schedule, but I appreciate your time as always.
Thanks.
All right, well done, sir.
Thank you.
Good job. Excelente.
Hey, I did it in one take.
Exactly.
One take.
One take wonder. Boom.